Hey guys, this is Drew from ZP Reviews, and I'm coming to you with a new video, and this will be the second video in my series. And what this is about, something that I don't hear talked about often, and everyone's saying, hey, you want to do passive income, or you want to get into Amazon FBA like we did, or any other kind of business online right now. And one of the things that's never talked about is, well, me, right? I'm an engineer, and by all means, it's very difficult. We got into a job. I finished my degree. It was a lot of work, but the one big thing that we don't talk about, you could just do anything. Well, you learn to do that, right? Well, in Amazon, at least in my case, and I want to specifically talk about this, is you become a merchant once you become, get into the business of Amazon FBA. So, well, how do you get into that mindset? How do you become a merchant? And one of the things when I was looking at all of the things I had to do, and there's so many steps to piece together, the one skill that I realized, I was like, man, I don't really have that. And you know what it was? Is sales. It's just the simple science of business and sales. And for me, I started, watching other YouTubes. I looked at obviously all of the FBA people. Like I watched Matt Loverstein, I already mentioned him. He was one of the first. One of his guys that followed him, Sam Brax, I liked really a lot because I caught him really early and it was cool. I don't know if you guys catch me like this, fingers crossed, right? But I watched a whole bunch of people kind of grow. But the big thing that I didn't see when I was watching it was, well, how did you go from just sourcing products to creating entire businesses where you're able to finance more than just product launches? Because as you'll find out if you're already in business, one, you have cash flow issues, and two, you probably spend a great deal on advertising. And I'll talk about that in another video. We can talk PPC or giveaways or anything. But more importantly, why is that important? Because if you're like me, who use like ZonJump to launch, and you know, I have my reservations. It's a great service. It got its job done, but it was it's like it's not just the fee. You end up losing your potential profits on each giveaway. So the cost is high. So I was like, well, what could I do to supercharge that? And I started reading, and one of the services that came up was the problem that I wanted to solve, and what ultimately what I want to lead to is that these giveaway services use landing pages, and all these landing pages are basically ads for your product, where you get someone to get a coupon or something and opt in, but that's very important. And at least with ZonJump, as far as I know, now don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they just run really nice ads for you, and you'll give them a keyword and they'll rank you, and it's great. What if I said, if you could do it yourself, then you could use cool things like super URLs and real bundling, even your own bundling. So instead of doing just these discounts with a outside service, or I've even seen some where they do, what would you call them? I would say like landing page services. I've seen those, but then it occurred to me, I just don't know about it. I didn't want to, like I said earlier, I didn't want to get into the habit of just spending money first, thinking later. So I said, let me learn about what I'm getting into. And I actually got led to this thing called .comSecrets. I mean, this is the book here. And basically, I can explain it. It's this guy, Russell Brunson, and he's behind this big software, is landing page software called ClickFunnels. I do use ClickFunnels, and it's pretty cool. But the most important thing that I can say is, so ClickFunnels is a program to build landing pages, but the book here, it taught me why. And as I said before, it's not about how. If you understand why you're doing X, Y, and Z, then as a good business owner, you'll figure out, one, how to do it the most efficiently, as well as doing it for like least cost. And for me, I didn't understand online business or how you acquire customers, because one thing that's not talked about, when you sell on Amazon, they're not your customers. So the question is, well, how do I get my customers? Because imagine if you had, say there was 1,000 people who bought your product, right? And you wanted to launch a new one. Wouldn't it be nice that you could just contact those 1,000 people and then say, oh, well, here's my newest deal, or even here's the newest bundle. You could actually get them. And what I learned from reading .comSecrets is I understood the structure of why you build things a certain way, for one, and then also how do you start understanding your customer better, and how do you reach them? Because half the battle is just getting a product that sells, but the little sprinkles, right? Like, was it the dude with the salt? The little sprinkles that really makes everything shine is when you do your own salesmanship of your product. So, as soon as we started reading it, we just started picking up tricks, and next thing you know, we were doing our own giveaways, which reduced our costs substantially. We were able to launch more variations. So we went from one product to two, and now we're at 3 for 1, and it's 3 variations. And then we're looking at some more products, but that's, it's in the pipe work. But the biggest thing is that as soon as we figured out how to do it ourselves, and then figure out what is important to pay for and what isn't, we were able to save money. And then also, and I'll tell you right now, it allowed us to see other opportunities. And that is why I think every Amazon person, if you're someone who's getting into Amazon FBA specifically, I recommend you read something. Don't just read about how to do just these services. If you can sell one thing and you can figure out how to connect with, just whoever it is you're trying to reach. And I maintain that this is probably one of the least talked about, but one of the most important things is you have a product, but the product is there to solve a particular customer's problem, right? Whatever that is, either it's entertainment or if it's actually functional, it doesn't matter. It's more important that in you as the Amazon seller, right? And that's us. How can we convey, that to people and then guide them to buy our products? And boom, .comSecrets, you just get into the nitty gritty of it, and they explain all sorts of concepts that I might have had to go to school, or I might have had to pay some course. I don't want to take some of these courses. I said I found it. I think I got it in like Hastings, and it was like $10, but I got a hand on a link that I think you get it. I think it's free and you pay shipping, but either way, it looked like a steal. So I'll leave that in the description. But I highly recommend every Amazon seller, before you just start winging it completely, right? I mean, you still need to take action, but learning a little bit about sales and understanding how to make your ad dollars go further. And what this really comes into play is your Facebook ads. All of you will run some sort of Facebook ads or Pinterest ads or Instagram ads in order to push your product further. And honestly, we're working on this now, like ManyChat. Like I'm trying to build that now, but there's beautiful things you can do to keep your customers in the loop, which in turn will make your life easier, because each time you launch, when you have your own group of customers, once you actually acquire that, you don't need to use giveaways. You don't need to use half these things, because you'll eventually start growing a group of people that just associate your product with your brand name as well as your personal salesmanship. And that's what's missing. I think a lot of people, when they think passive income and everything, that they don't do anything with the customer. Like they're not talking to these people, but in reality, that's what you do want to do. So I'll do another video, but like even the autoresponder I mentioned, I use Feedback Wiz, and I'll talk about that soon. But that's the same thing. I get people for customer reviews. And I learned some of my copy from reading .comSecrets, and that I can honestly say I might have to turn that thing off, because it's ever since I put together better emails, I started getting tons more reviews, and it's not because my product magically got better. I started using like really good review templates. And if you guys are interested in those templates, let me know in the comment section, and I can definitely see if I can hook you up, because to me, that it didn't take me a whole long time to write it. And if any of you guys decide to get the book and read it, you'll know exactly what I did and where I went, and you'll say, oh geez. And to me, that's worth it itself. So because when we were first starting, it was like, what is you don't launch yet, you got to get like 5 reviews from like friend and family, and it was like pulling teeth. But once that giveaway started going and those organic sales did come in like underneath that, we saw Feedback Wiz go crazy. But you know what I mean? The big thing is Feedback Wiz is nice for automation, but it's your emails that are doing the work. So once again, if you want to get to some information that's going to teach you a little bit of salesmanship that will take your FBA business a step higher, and this is on a creative level, right? This is building business, because when you if you just put a whole bunch of products out and you don't focus on the brand part, then the connection you have with the customers is going to be so low that literally it's just your listing that's going to sell itself. Wouldn't it be nice to have just like this brand recognition, social media proof, that when people come and say they find your thing on Amazon, but they also can find it on Google or anywhere else? And this is where you start learning the little tips and tricks to go from just random investment to personal brand. And I think everyone will agree with me on this, that especially in 2018, where there's only going to get more competition, it's best to plan ahead and just say that I'm gunning for this brand. And if I'm going to gun for this brand and you're going to commit yourself to doing Amazon, you should absolutely get some learning. So once again, I think, yeah, I got this link. I got to make sure. The link might expire, but it's a free offer. And I think it's, like I said, free book. And I think you just pay shipping, but I think it was like $5, either $7, I don't know. It's not much, but it was a worthwhile read. We probably saved half money on our giveaways. And then on top of that, whenever I need to like rank for a keyword or something, I'll run my ads, and it's just like boom, 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 and I love it. You know what I mean? Because as soon as you start getting those little Amazon choice, and I'll tell you how I do it. Ready? Comment if you want to know how I do it, and I'll put out more videos, because I don't really know what to give you guys. I'm just giving you guys based on what I think is important. So, like I said, so this is Drew from ZP Reviews. I just wanted to talk about DotComSecrets. I think I would say, it's not everything you should use to learn, but it's really good for getting you kind of up to speed of why you need to sell things a certain way, how to design them, how to develop them. So, Drew from ZP Reviews. See you later, guys. Thanks.